what a scoundrel. Gassed of a town fool to go rob the crown jewel. He's like a Lego megalomaniac who's into electronic and techno, a real brainiac. Smack dab in the hip-hop gold rush. Be rather the old stuff, preferably the cold crush. It gets deeper than Deep Pack Chopper, except he keep us.
What's good, people? What's been happening? I know it's been a little while since I've been on camera, or well, at least for a reaction video. But what y'all been watching? I'm Aquarian OG, and you should get to know me. So we got a few things going on here. Got a new look on, new old arrangement type of deal. You know what I mean? You can see what's happening. You can look around here and see what's going on. We got the flag as usual. The one from back in a minute ago. So I was looking through videos and I just came across this one, and it made me hungry. Why do black people like fried chicken? Because it tastes good. I know I just stereotyped the hell out of myself, but it made me hungry. So let's talk about it. You ready? Let's go.
The fried chicken goes all the way back to ancient Rome. A Roman cookbook named the Abacus was the first to suggest the recipe of fried chicken. However, it was the Moors who truly developed and refined the...
It was the Moors, baby. The Moors. You know what that means? African. We did it again. That's why we make that good ass fried chicken.
Art of frying chicken in the Mediterranean. Traditional fried chicken as we know it has its origins in two distinct cultures, Scottish and West African. The Scots were the first to introduce the idea of frying chicken, which was quite different from the usual European cooking methods of baking and broiling. There was evidence that the Scots had been deep frying poultry in fat since the Middle Ages.
Let's hear it for the Scots.
Interesting piece of evidence from 1773 diary of the writer James Boswell wrote about a dinner he had in the Isle of Skye, which included fried chicken. One of the...
Probably blew his damn mind. He like, what is this delicious? Don't you know you're hungry? You know some fried chicken sound good right about now. You know, I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one.
The very first known written recipes of fried chicken comes in a British cookbook entitled The Art of Cookery, made plain and easy by Hannah Glass in 1747. The recipe, loved by both British and the American colonies, in the recipe calls to cut 2 pieces of chicken into quarters, lay them in vinegar.
That must have been a leg.
2 to 4 hours with salt, pepper, a bay leaf, and cloves of garlic, very thick batter. First with a half a pint of wine and flour, then 2 egg yolks, melt a little butter, grated oregano, some chopped parsley, beat very well, dip your fowls in the batter, and fry them up in a good deal of hog lard.
See, that's where y'all go wrong at. I ain't heard no salt. I ain't heard no pepper.
Wow, it was Scottish immigrants who first introduced fried chicken to the United States. They were definitely not the ones that popularized it.
See, they talk about fried chicken. They pull out the okra. Y'all gonna hit us with some cornbread or a roll or something? What's going on here? The okra look juicy. Look at it. It's all juicing off the knife. Juicing.
That was done by Western Africans. During that time period, Western Africans were very familiar with cooking chicken, and they usually used a braising technique.
I mean, West Africa being familiar with cooking chicken. I'm just saying.
However, once in America, enslaved Africans used their culinary traditions to introduce the concepts of seasoning and spices.
That was that whole, what was that, the whatever Columbus was talking about. We're going over to the Caribbean to get spices.
And imbue the flavor and zest into an otherwise mundane dish. See, at the time, the Scots weren't putting any seasoning.
I mean, I called it. I'm a chicken connoisseur. was going to say chicken extraordinaire. What the hell?
in their fried chicken. Upon arrival, enslaved people found themselves in an alien landscape amidst an unfamiliar food and culinary norms. Nonetheless, they were expected to utilize the ingredients that were accessible to them while continuing to draw on their deep culinary traditions. African culinary habits bustling featured poultry and fowl, and chicken played a significant role, making this an easily adaptable ingredient when they reached the New World.
I'm saying.
Their culinary skill and ingenious improvisation of the enslaved people played a huge role in the growth and popularity of fried chicken. They combined their African cooking techniques with already available ingredients in America to create something completely different.
Y'all see old dude? Okay. He looked like he could fry some chicken. If you dress like that, you standing next to a thing like this, the big stove, you got nets to pull out the meat out of the lard or whatever cooking oil you use. This is the first Popeyes right here.
To create something completely different. For example, West African cultures use palm oil most often for frying foods. However, in America, enslaved Africans had to switch to using lard or pig fat, the fat of other animals, to fry chicken. This was because those ingredients were more readily available and less expensive.
Hence why we have chicken today. It's less expensive, except for chicken breast. Y'all be getting ridiculous with the chicken breast, and sometimes I be thinking they turkeys. These steroid chickens is ridiculous. That look like candy corn. Now we know where candy corn got its look from. That's probably just a wild grown. There's some big ass kernels of corn. Either that person has small hands or those are some huge kernels of corn.
Chickens also played a significant part in the lives of enslaved people. Chickens were amongst the few animals that enslaved people were permitted to keep and care for, and they became a key part of their meals. Raising chickens was manageable and presented enslaved people with an opportunity to express some level of independence.
That's probably why we have chickens in the hood right now. We got a couple chickens over down the street. Guy got about 10 chickens over there, about a dozen or so. I'm surprised he ain't got weasel problems, because we also live close to the woods. There's a lot of weasels and stuff like that around here, too. I just saw a cat chasing a field mouse across the street yesterday. Actually, twice yesterday. 2 different cats. I might want to get a cat. Seems like we got field mice around here.
Chickens also had economic importance because sometimes enslaved people were allowed to trade or sell their surplus eggs and meat for other goods. However, if a chicken fell sick or died, enslaved people were forced to eat it to avoid wasting the food.
Man, that's rough. Is that how we got this avian flu now? Like this development of all these chicken flus and bird flus and all the craziness?
Therefore, they came up with the idea of cleaning and seasoning the meat, then frying it in hot oil. During slavery, fried chicken was a luxury reserved.
A luxury. See? That's why we like fried chicken so much today, because it was a luxury back then. Reserved for special occasions? Oh, that's like the goats and stuff over in traditional Africa, or mainland Africa. Not mainland, but homeland Africans. I don't know what the proper term is, but yeah.
Served for special occasion. Although the recipe is extremely simple, preparing it took a lot of time, effort. Not everyone had access to the right kitchen tools or even access to available poultry. Still, as more and more people tasted fried chicken, it began to disseminate across the South, and by the end of the Civil War, the connection between African Americans and fried chicken was already firmly established. In the period following the Civil War, mass-produced fried chicken and inexpensive oils became readily available. However, during the same time period, racial laws restricted employment opportunities for African Americans, particularly women. So, they resorted to selling their homemade fried chicken, often considered Sunday meal,
by the plate,
to travelers. This
We still do that. You find the right person in the hood, you can buy a plate of food. They sell them Sunday dinners. And it'd be tasty, too.
Economic strategy helped propagate Southern railways and therefore solidify fried chicken as a Southern staple and a nationwide symbol. The best example of this took place in Gordonville, Virginia. Despite this small town of only 900 residents, Gordonville, Virginia was an important stop for two major railroad lines. During that time period, trains did not have dining cars, so passengers had to figure out how to feed themselves, and some would pack their own food, while
brown bagging it.
Others chose to purchase meals during their trip. Spotting a business opportunity, African American women used to sell their homemade food to passing travelers.
Selling them by the plate. I'm telling you, there'll be some good meals. Greens on it, cornbread on it, maybe some baked beans or whatever you got available.
They would serve fried chicken and pies and biscuits and deliver them to the hands of passengers on a platform through the train windows. The women were known as waiter carriers. But by the turn of the century, the majority of the trains began to equip with dining cars, and governmental regulations became more stringent for platform food vendors. And as a result, this innovative business tradition had to come to an end. During the Great Migration, many African Americans moved from the South to northern industrial cities, and they took their food traditions with them, including their beloved fried chicken that reminded them of their former homes.
Look how they got this vehicle packed. This is before luggage racks. They like pretty much got this thing tied down with like a thick twine or something like that. We still got pretty much the same hairstyles, except for they're a little more, they can be a little more geometric now. Rounded, sometimes geometric. But yeah, we still rock the same dudes. Ain't much changed on that. Kid's tie is a little short. Yeah, decent looking people. Times back then, I couldn't imagine what tie. Oh, they come from Florida too? Ooh. They deep.
Over time, African Americans started to eat fried chicken as a staple meal after church. They also would serve the best part of the chicken, typically the breast, to the pastors as they visited the home.
Sunday
During
meals.
this time, chicken would become known by gospel bird or the Sunday cluck.
Gospel bird? The Sunday cluck? I never heard of those. I heard of, can we get out of church so I can eat? I'm hungry. We've been here for 5 hours.
This would continue up until around World War II, when fried chicken was still only being enjoyed on special occasions. It was still relatively labor-intensive process. But by the 1950s, the popularity of fried chicken exploded due to the rise of fast food chains. Many entrepreneurs in the fast food industry saw America's passion for fried chicken and decided to capitalize on it.
Of course. Of course. Kentucky Fried Chicken. I forget what the story was on him. I read that. I mean, I not read that, but watched a video on that not too long ago.
Companies started to brainstorm ways to quickly cook up a massive amount of fried chicken and serve them fresh to their customers. It was during this time period that fried chicken went from being a national American dish to an international dish.
I remember when KFC used to be good.
However, it was also during this time period, during the Jim Crow era, where racial stereotypes between African Americans were closely tied to fried chicken, asserting black folks as poultry thieves and ravenous eaters of fried chicken.
I mean, we don't steal the chicken, but I'll tear some chicken up. So you're not completely wrong.
This portrayal cast African Americans as inherently savage and unintelligent, as predatory, lustful beings who exhibited primal, uncontrollable affection for food, particularly fried chicken.
See, they always make us the ones that can't control ourselves. Savages. They ravage this and ravage that. When we don't have that deep of a history of doing those things. Savages, no. But well, let us tell you about some Vikings. Proud of that history. But that's not a savage? Barbarians. Proud of that history, but that's not a savage? Come on now, let's even things up here. Just because we had spears and stuff down in Africa, hunting them big-ass animals, don't make us savages. Stop calling us savages. When it's the other way around, the savage caller is the one that's the savage. Cut the bullshit.
In 1915, the film The
But we do like some chicken.
Birth of a Nation popularized the trope of African Americans as chicken thieves, painting them as dim-witted and lazy. In one scene, elected black officials were seen swigging from whiskey bottles and putting their bare feet on tables, while another man is seen ravenously gnawing on a chicken bone. So,
Hold on. I got to rewind that. What the hell did they just say?
and lazy. In one scene, elected black officials were
About that-
1915, the film
About that lazy thing. If you work for 400 years in a field under the conditions that the slaves were working in for 400 years under, would you be enthusiastic to go to work? I'm just saying. I'm just talking about the genealogy. What do they call it? The ancestral memory or whatever you want to call it. We ancestrally tied. We created every damn thing. Gotta maintain everything because you come along and steal it and break it and make it worse than what it was. You know, I'm just talking in general. Can't have shit.
The Birth of a Nation popularized the trope of African Americans as chicken thieves, painting them as dim-witted and lazy. In one scene, elected black officials were seen swigging from whiskey bottles and putting their bare feet on tables, while another man is seen ravenously gnawing on a chicken bone. Such image
Really, like the chicken bone. Like, come on, y'all. Come on.
permeated deep into the 19th century, and these stereotypes continuously
Ravenously
show
gnawing on a
in various
chicken bone.
types of movies and media and TV shows and advertisements. These often showed African Americans indulging in specific types of foods like fried chicken and watermelon.
Where did the watermelon thing come from anyway? White people eat more watermelon than black folks. I just wanted to go back and check this picture out again. Like, this is some bullshit, right? What? Come on now. They They probably got some kind of racial tone in their head where they said, you know how like the accent change when you talking about different things? They probably got some.
like
All right,
fried
let me
chicken
shut
and
up.
watermelon. This was propagated to the point to insinuate that African Americans were less intelligent and highlighted white society's perceived cultural and racial superiority.
Watermelon is alright, but it ain't one of them things I just go for all the time. Like, I don't even know why we got the watermelon thing. That's y'all. That's a white thing right there. White people eat more watermelon than black folks, but we do tear up some chicken. But we don't steal it though.
This stereotype was often employed with the humor trope to belittle blacks, thus underscoring black people's subjugated status.
Why y'all always do our head like that too? Y'all don't know nothing about the hairstyle. Everybody in the past looked like Kodak Black. What the fuck?
In today's world,
Man, this is some bullshit!
Now, this is an original piece that I wrote entitled Motherfuckers. These motherfuckers.
You see how racist it is? What the fuck is that? Got coon chicken special, coon chicken dinner, coon chicken in. What the hell? Sunday dinner on top of that. Well, car and table service. We deliver. They had delivery back then?
the stereotype persists, and the media plays a significant role in establishing and perpetuating and amplifying these stereotypes. For racist
Hold on, where's that address? We going there. Sandy Boulevard. I bet you that's in Kentucky too.
depictions, minstrel shows, to negative
Mississippi.
portrayals, and modern advertisements, media contributed significantly towards the racial myth-making of fried chicken, even as attempts to counter these negative stereotypes in contemporary media. Old tropes occasionally resurface and underline the persistence and cultural baggage that fried chicken seems to carry. In 2010, a Kentucky Fried Chicken commercial in Australia depicted a white person calming down a rowdy crowd of black people with
At first, I was like, why is this white dude in the middle of all these jumping up and down? And then he said it. He used a bucket of chicken to calm down all the black folks. What in the racist shit is this?
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
He used a bucket of chicken to calm down a group of black people? You need your ass beat for that one. That's an ass whooping right there. Look at this. Hold on, not this one, but
seems
damn,
to carry.
that too.
In 2010, a Kentucky Fried Chicken commercial in Australia
Fuck you, KFC.
depicted a white person calming down a rowdy crowd
This motherfucker right here.
of black people with fried chicken. While the ad was labeled as racist, it's also seen as an example of exactly how these stereotypes continue to spread. It forced KFC to apologize publicly and pull the ad. However, despite these stereotypes propagating in the media, many African American chefs and food writers have made efforts to attempt to reclaim the narrative and highlight the historical and cultural significance of fried chicken.
Hold on. All we got to do is make better fried chicken. We ain't got that claim, no, and all go through all that. Just cook it better than they do. Be the best chicken fryer, batter maker.
Continue to elevate Southern traditional meals, including fried chicken, to the realm of gourmet cuisine. And the success of black-owned businesses shows that African American entrepreneurs can succeed despite these stereotypes. Strides are being taken to dismantle these stereotypes.
I gotta judge this chicken. Hold on. It's looking pretty crispy. I see some oregano. They use garlic powder. There's salt and pepper. So far, I approve.
Stereotypes, but the work is ongoing. As historian Michael Twitty points out, fried chicken is a soul food classic, but it's not the whole of African Americans' culinary heritage. Nonetheless, fried chicken continues to remain a staple in many African American gatherings and celebrations, and resembling resilience, resourcefulness, and culinary creativity amidst a history fraught with hardship and repression.
Man. I don't know about you, but I'm kind of hungry. I ain't offended, but I'm kind of hungry. I was wondering how the hell we got tagged with the chicken thing. We ain't no chicken thieves. We can cook the hell out of the chicken, though. Yeah, I need to correct that shit right there. We ain't stealing no chicken. Chicken's cheap enough right now. Well, up until the wealthy got a hold of it. It's cheap while we got it, and then as soon as y'all get a hold of it, the wealthy I'm talking to, ridiculousness. This right here, I can dig it. I do like me some fried chicken, but I ain't that big on watermelon. I eat watermelon maybe once a year, twice a year if the wife wants more. But I don't just go out and buy a watermelon. I will tear up some chicken though. I can take a whole chicken and cut it into 2, 4, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. I cut it into 8 pieces in 2 minutes. Chicken tenders, chicken breasts, chicken thighs, drumsticks, leg. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, about 8 pieces. Boil the carcass for some broth. Throw some carrot, celery, onion in there. Freeze the broth. A lot of uses for some chicken. All right, I'm about to go eat something. Deuces on the flips.